Good morning, everyone. Hope we are all well. Welcome to our first webinar involving one of our newer vendors, Bridgeworks. You'll see in the presentations that we're kind of looking to give our partners something else to talk about with their customers, but it's something that is very important in this day and age, making the most of what they're spending already, making it more efficient, more professional, etc. So welcome. I'm just going to run through the meet the team. So this is myself and Darren. If you don't know Darren's one of the solution managers at Nuvola. We also have Simon Marrion, who's the business development manager at Bridgeworks, who will be speaking, and his partner in crime, Phil Hill, who is the techie part of this conversation. We also have Katrina in the background, who usually runs this, so she'll be in the background. And let's go through to the agenda. So I'm just going to do a quick talk, followed by Phil, who's going to hopefully just give some outline of Bridgeworks, what they do, and how they can help you sell into your clients and make money. And then we also want to make it clear how the journey works with Bridgeworks and Nuvola, how we work with our partners and ensure that you are protected in the channel, etc., etc. And then finally, we've got some Q&A. So as usual with our webinars, we have a Q&A box on your browser. So any questions you have, please put into there, and we're going to manage them at the end. So we're not going to answer them as we go along. We're going to keep everyone on mute because it keeps it flowing. And then at the end at 10:45, we'll go through some Q&A sessions with the guys. Okay, so I apologise, if some of our partners, existing partners, but this is probably for the new partners about who Nuvola are. We are a comms distributor, but the distributor part is probably changing, as we all know. It's about solutions and services around the comms world. And this is why we've partnered with Bridgeworks, because we feel they add a new dimension into what we can offer our partners. We all know most things are coming out the cloud, so we want to ensure that communications between A and B is as efficient as possible. So we need the Bridgeworks of this world to use their clever technology, which again Phil will be talking about. And the idea is that we kind of work with you into your end users. So if you have opportunities, we are more than happy to sit on a call with one of your end users. We are channel only, as most of you know. So there's never any threat there, but it's there to enable and enhance the world of collaboration and the modern workplace. So another quick slide, bit of a corporate slide, but where we are. So we're based just off the M4 in Swallowfield. We have our warehouse and offices there. We also have a base in Ireland, where we have a warehouse as well. Now, for some of you, if you have opportunities which venture into Europe, we have the facilities, the IOR. We can work with you to ensure that the product gets into Europe with the least amount of hassle, the tax implications we take care of, all the shipping, etc., etc. So it's something that's very useful for our partners who may not have a base, a relationship with a carrier. We can work with you to ensure that that's as simple as possible. And then we have engineering resource again. Most people know we have engineering resource around the UK, which we're very proud of, and we have skill sets across a number of products. So our value add, the value add is customer service. So we're very proud of, we work with our partners to ensure they get best response time, the correct response. And like I say, we're happy to work with you in front of customers. Knowledge base, so when we take a product on, we ensure that we have a certain amount of knowledge around these products. However, we do lean on the vendors to ensure that we stand beside our partners and the vendors to give the the end users the best experience possible. We have pre-sales resource, so again, people like Phil on the vendor side of things, and then we have Gareth in our place, where we can work with you to give that value add in front of the end user and not that knowledge base. The world has changed probably in the last, I don't know, 10 years, where a partner, a system integrator, a reseller, you're not expected to know every widget and digit around a product. And that's where the vendors need to be in presence in opportunities, ensuring that the right solution is positioned. And that's where vendor support comes in. We also obviously have technical help desk. So we have a help desk where you can log tickets, work with us, gives you that comfort that there is someone at the end of the phone who can register the ticket, work with you to solve it, whatever it might be. And then we have a professional services rep. Now, a lot of these products are probably where you need smart hands, where you need someone to go in with some knowledge around comms and technology to be on site, and you might have someone with all the intellect in back at base, but you might think, well, I need a man on site. That's where we have professional services rep, which can help you certainly with this kind of product. So what we try and do, we create solutions. So this is our corporate slide where we position what we see as the modern workplace and the collaboration looks like. You know, we all talk about UCaaS in the cloud, which is quite self-explanatory. You've got the unified comms. So unified comms is the on-premise, which is not gone away and probably won't go away for some time. However much people are moving to the UCaaS, they still will have some on-premise solutions. So again, we build solutions around whatever the requirement is. Security and analytics, again, key for people to look at their comms infrastructure and see if it's secure and how is it behaving. Is it behaving in the best possible way? Can we make it better? And then on the other side, you've got contact center and AI. So AI is moving into a key part of contact center where you'll find a lot of contact centers, the initial interaction with the customer will be via a bot or an AI device, which will take away a lot of the heavy lifting. And then when the tricky questions or the more sensitive questions need to be dealt with the person, it will be passed on. So they work very closely together. And that generally is in the cloud as well. And then finally, which is where Bridgeworks fits in, is the connectivity and infrastructure. So this is where we need to make sure the baseline is working at the best possible way, the most efficient way, to the most secure way, to ensure that that information that's traveling from A to B is being done as we best can. And this is where Phil will explain how Bridgeworks quite simply can do that. And then there's the overarching wrap around our PS. So you can see we go from help desk to migration to PS, smart hands engineering. We have the whole shebang. There will be times if we don't have that service, we can help you source it. But again, we can do the whole piece that gives you that peace of mind, including professional project management, for example. So we always have to put products up because everyone loves a vendor. So you can see the busy slide is cloud. You know, we've got unified comms, which is all about on-premise. You've got meeting rooms, and then you've got the PS. Obviously, what we're talking about today is kind of the intelligent networking side of it. So this is where we talk about infrastructure and connectivity. So you've got the ribbons of this world who allow you to connect the old world to the new world. You've got Garland, which is an aggregator. So it takes information online, takes it off, and creates a what-if scenario. You've got Syngoma, which gives you gateways. So again, you're going from old world to new world, and you just need to have some sort of conversion. But then Alcatel-Lucent, very strong in the data center world. So very strong in DCs around high performance switching, high secure switching, along with the Wi-Fi. And then obviously today, we're going to be talking about Bridgeworks, which again, fits in very nicely. When we look at new products, there's no point us having the same product over. Even when we talk about UCaaS, one size doesn't fit all anymore. So we need to have that. We need to approach it from a consultative point of So I think that's me done for now. I'm going to hand over to the lovely Phil. But please, any questions on the way, please feel free to send them in. And now, Phil, it's all yours.
Brilliant. Can you all see what I'm sharing? I've hit the button.
Not at present, Phil.
Yet.
Not at present. Okay. I think there was an allow I had to add. Can we see it now?
There you go. You're off, Phil. Rock
Technology works. Thank you very much. Welcome to this Don't Waste Time Waiting on the WAN session. I'm Phil Hill. I've previously been with solution integration companies like DXC, AT&T, and I've worked in a variety of roles as a network architect, network advisor, cyber security solution architect, and I've been around networks and security for over 28 years now. I joined Bridgeworks in 2020, and we've seen a marked improvement in revenues and product awareness, particularly working with the US government entities during that time. I'm the global customer solutions lead. All that means is that I'm the trusted advisor to our data acceleration customers, so ultimately your customers who require technical help in speeding up their data communications. I'm going to let Simon introduce himself now. Simon?
Thanks, Phil. Good morning, everybody. Simon Marrion here, Business Development Manager for Europe, Middle East and Africa for Bridgeworks, which means I'm the channel manager looking after and supporting Nuvola and supporting our key registered partners. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you, Simon. Here's today's agenda. We're offering you all a chance to partner with us and exploit the section of the data transfer market that suffers from latency. To do this, I'll explain where Bridgeworks fit, what help is available to you if you want to partner with us, and how engagements with us typically work. Who are we? Well, historically, we're a block storage and SAN company, and we've been around for over 30 years. It's quite likely, in fact, you'll have walked past rebadged product of ours if you've walked any distance in any data centers or computer halls sort of through the sort of 90s and 2000s. IBM and Dell, I believe, both have examples of rebadged products. Gartner, while they don't have a quadrant for us, we are a little niche. They know who we are and have previously described us as a cool vendor. We've also won a number of awards for what we do. But since 2013, we've been pioneering data acceleration. We've been somewhat disruptive to the WAN optimization industry. We're always looking to push the envelope. And for example, in 2020, we released the world's fastest SAN bridge. This capability was updated yet again last year. If you do want to know more about the SAN bridges, Simon's available later to discuss the range further with you. But for now, I want to discuss data acceleration and the impact we can make for your clients. Disruptive technology improves on WAN optimization, which when I last looked was forecast to be valued at 1.4 billion by 2025, and it's complementary technology to SD-WANs, which are estimated to reach 4.6 globally in the same time span. Our unique method for acceleration has obvious implications for space, defense, banking, but also media, healthcare and motorsports are high up there. Although you know by now that we're all about acceleration, what you might not know is that where others need to break apart, compress, deduplicate the data, your customer's data, in order to get it through quicker, we don't change it in any way. We don't even know or care what the data is. So Katrina's going to put up a poll now. I can't see the poll, but I'll carry on. Thanks to our unique approach to acceleration, we can do this for you securely, even with encrypted data. In fact, with our transfers, there's no additional overheads or penalties experienced. when dealing with encryption. We don't charge extra for dealing with encryption. There's no additional CPU load required. Thanks to how our AI keeps everything optimal, in reality, your customers just need to give us the zeros and ones and let us push them through even quicker for you. So to recap, with our powerful AI, a unique approach to solving the problem, we absolutely can speed things up for you and allow your end users to keep data integrity. So how's this poll getting on?
Just going to publish the results now. Can you see the results?
So I can't. Can you, Simon? Anyone?
That's a shame. I can tell you the results.
Apologies.
The question was, to accelerate encrypted data, do Bridgeworks need access to key material cryptographic keys in order to accelerate them? And the question most voted was no, you don't need the keys. 50% voted no, 12% voted yes, you do need the keys. 37% voted don't know if they need the keys. Phil, I think you will know the answer to this question.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. So we're somewhat unique in the fact that we don't need the cryptographic keys, and that's because we don't need to tamper with the data in order to accelerate it. So this makes us even more attractive in as much as we don't know what the data is, we don't care what the data is, but if you want to encrypt the data, we've got no hope in anywhere of ever discovering what the data is. So we see our ability to do this without examining the data as one of our strong USPs. And in a good way, it's getting a lot of attention from the US government because we're fairly niche in that respect. Thanks for that, Katrina. This slide highlights the fact that some impressive and big names with lots of data trust us to move their data quickly for them. We've not really done much, if any, really, advertising to date because the market's come to us, we've responded, the word spread, and we've basically been collecting the low-hanging fruit ever since. IBM have an OEM going back something like 7 years with us. They've put our technology in their Storewise products. The defence industry loves us because we don't examine the data, as I previously said. We don't know, we don't care what it is. Not to sound unsympathetic, we just don't care. We can speak to the use case of many of these entities who already trust Bridgeworks, but we've got a couple of examples for you coming up. Here's example number one. It's CVS Pharmacy in the USA. I'm going to ask Katrina to put up a second poll. And it's more about, would you say your average customer is using more or less than 70% of their WAN capacity? So CVS wanted to displace an iron mounting solution. So a man in a van who turns up, takes the backup tapes, stores them somewhere in case you have a disaster. But they wanted to displace that and use their existing WAN and put in a virtual tape library as their backup solution. Unfortunately, in their case, they initially underestimated how much the effects of packet loss and latency would have on their daily backup. And it would have put their backup strategy at risk, but thankfully they came to us and we were able to mitigate the effects of packet loss and latency. We got their backup completed in about 1/3 of their backup window for them, so they were very pleased. And obviously we did all of this without caching, deduplicating or compressing their data. So what's the results of that poll, Katrina?
Just publishing that for you now, Phil. We've got 66% don't know, 22% believe it's a no, and 11% have said yes. So the majority, 2/3 of attendees don't know what the average customer.
Thank you. That's fairly typical. What we get a lot of is when somebody's coming to us in anger because things are slow, they're initially wanting advice, you know, how much data throughput do we need? Why is it not getting through, etc. There's a misconception out there that they're filling all the data, all their WAN up, it's 100% utilized, you can't get any more down there, and that's what the problem is. And part of that is just down to aggressive media and advertising on the TV now. You've got adverts from people like Tube offering. I'm not slating anyone's products. You go for whatever bandwidth you want, but you know that they're delivering or capable of delivering now 1 gig to the house. You know, your broadband solution, you could have a 1 gig pipe now, I believe. When you consider that probably a film on your streaming video service is going to be using up typically less than 15 or 20 megabits per second of that, that's quite a lot of data for one household. So we're sort of getting tuned to believe that having more lanes on the highway will let us drive faster down them. But the speed of light is still the speed of light, and the speed of data comms is very much meeting a lot of these laws. So what we see is a lot of people think, yeah, we're overutilized, and then I challenge them, get some NTLG stats, or look at your dashboard, get your network engineering guy to tell you what he's seeing. And then they quite often come back, and I would say sort of definitely over 50% of the people we talk to are under 30% utilized. And that gives us room for improvement for their data transfers, because we can speed this up for them without negating the effect of the WAN for everyone else. We've got this AI, it's very intelligent. It will make sure that nobody suffers while we're doing this acceleration for them. Anyway, enough about bandwidth. Let's go through to our second use case. You might recognize this company, well-known endpoint protection antivirus type company. They actually wanted to separate into two companies. They've got I would call it a cybersecurity or a SIEM arm, and an endpoint security antivirus product arm. And they wanted to make these two distinct companies. And to do this, they needed to separate various owned parts of data in, I believe, Bangalore and Denver, the two locations. So they were transferring terabytes of data across that geography very quickly. And we've got a quote for them saying that it's at the bottom there, you can read it for yourself. What would have taken us over a year to transfer, you got transferred for us in a week and a half. So we believe we certainly helped them get their project completed in time, and probably wouldn't have been able to without us. Somewhat 50 times faster. We did a bit of analysis and found that they actually had less bandwidth than they thought they did, and had they had the bandwidth that they thought they had, we probably could have got that to 100 or 99 times faster for them, somewhere around there. So no presentation like this is complete without some sort of graphs showing you what to expect, but not all applications perform the same. So I've put some examples there, and not all of your customers will have the same needs either. So please do bring them to us. But the graph shows some of our proof points with you, with applications that are hopefully somewhat familiar. If you head to our website, and there's a QR code there for you, you will see more white papers with examples of how we can help to improve data transfers for your clients. The above graph is taken from one of them. I'll hand over to Simon now. Simon?
Thanks, Phil. Great stuff. Thanks, mate. So just switching gears a little bit, let's talk a little bit about the customer journey and what are the benefits of partnering with Bridgeworks. So specifically around the customer journey, the approach really is, you know, if and when a client comes to you with a data speed challenge across the WAN, then next step really is to just bring them in for a chat. During the course of that chat, we can quickly establish if our technology can help via, you know, sort of a basic technical scoping. And quite often at this stage, you know, we can show acceleration and the customer will say, I can't believe it. I don't believe it. So we can even give them a pricing indication at that stage. Quite often, you know, when you can't believe it, well, how much is this going to cost? So our product, the nature of the product is very simple to price. So we can share a pricing indication so that we can be efficient with their time and everybody's time. So if there appears to be a fit, we can go into a deeper technical dive and demo resulting in the offer of a client evaluation. So we can organize these evaluations. We'll work alongside you and the client during the POC and try to ensure a smooth result and demonstrate a clear advantage of turning on the acceleration. Nobody's ever asked us to turn off acceleration. Thought I'd get that in there ahead of Phil. Final negotiations will follow, and hopefully you'll have your first Bridgeworks client. Next slide, please, Phil. So why partner with us then? The acceleration technologies that Bridgeworks offers is an enterprise sale. So it's a truly enterprise sale. And our route to market is exclusively via our registered partnerships. So we run a traditional two-tier indirect channel. Nuvola is our distributor, and our key registered partnerships are protected both through ourselves and through Nuvola. Every opportunity is deal registered on a first come first served basis, and then we will support your deal reg through the proof of concept and onto its natural conclusion, which hopefully obviously is a Bridgeworks sale for your organization. Our data acceleration is unique. So there is you know, a sort of got you moment where the penny drops and you understand what we have to offer. But it is unique, and it is fully patented, and it's compatible and complementary to SD-WAN type products and other intelligent networking devices. So it sits comfortably, you know, in the networking space alongside other solutions. The average selling price of the solution is in excess of $100,000 on average, and in fact, some of the deals that we've dealt with are even more significant than that. But the margins are very healthy, and we're talking, you know, in the 20% plus range of margins. We want to ensure that this remains a high value item to you in terms of margin, but also in terms of that, you know, trusted advisor bringing unique technology that fixes problems for customers. So we're offering a really special offer till the end of the year for your first client. As a registered partner, we'll equip you to sell, to install, and support our technology. The onus is on us to ensure that you're comfortable with everything that we're talking about, so that you can be efficient and professional in front of your client base. And that means that your service revenues are growing in line with your technology revenues. So we're thinking about both lines on the spreadsheet. Next slide, please, Phil. So in terms of next steps, we would like you to contact us, and we will organize a dedicated session where we'll look at the specifics of your client and hopefully show you the benefits of acceleration through Bridgeworks. So, and ideally, you'd sign up with us as a registered partner. We have a fully formed sales course for the sales teams and sales individuals that want to get fully, you know, comprehensively trained on our solutions. And we also do the same for the technical staff. So if you have technical teams or technical individuals, we'll make sure that they're fully up to speed. Next slide, please, Phil. And my final point is to say, don't take our word for it. Take a look at our website. We've got a calculator on there where you can calculate the speed by entering several different parameters, and therefore you can sort of initially estimate the benefits of acceleration to your customers. So please take a look at that when you get a chance. Right, I'm going to hand back to Mike.
Thank you.
For the Q&A. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Simon. Much appreciate that. I'm hoping that was of interest for everyone. And I'm just now going to. So I am going to ask Katrina to step in and tell us whether we have got any questions. Sorry.
We do. We've got a couple of questions. I'm going to read them out and you chaps can all dive in. First question is, can we use this solution alongside an SD-WAN?
Okay, I'll take that. So Indications so far. Yeah, indications so far that you can. We've got a couple of customers who do just that. So what you do and what works well is your SD-WAN predominantly is selecting the best path through hopefully a plethora of networks in order to get your data across via the optimum route. So if you like, that's kind of almost being a GPS for the network. However, it still suffers from latency and packet loss. So your communications without us will still have typically a much less or much greater transit time than they will have using us. So we then come in front of your SD-WAN solution. We pass the data to your SD-WAN solution and we let it do the path selection processes that it normally does.
Okay, thanks,
So
Phil.
yes.
Much appreciated. Again, the question and answer page is still open. So if you've got any questions following that. Anyway, back to Katrina.
Okay, next question is, are these accelerators hardware or software?
That's a really good question. Again, thank you for prompting me on that. So obviously it is a software product. There is software in there. However, we see a multitude of customers. Typically, if it's the network engineer that wants to put it in, he physically wants a piece of tin that he wants to put into a network rack. And that's a sort of very traditional approach. And we can absolutely support that. And we have a number of models that we offer in different form factors, so either 1U or 2U, with different capabilities depending on the size of the WAN that you're trying to fill or how fast you need your transfers to be able to go, etc. So that's the hardware. Now, a lot of people come to us with virtualization technologies. They might be using Hyper-V, they might be using Proxmox, they might be using VMware. Well, all of them are supported. We've got images that you can just slot straight in as an OVA or whatever the equivalent is on your virtualized platform, and you have our clients sitting there, and all we need to do is configure the IP addresses and tell it what to accelerate, and away you go. So that's virtual, physical, and cloud. We've got AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud clients currently. It doesn't seem to be too onerous if another cloud comes along. It wasn't when we got Google Cloud GCP up running quite quickly. So if you've got another requirement, please do challenge us, and we'll let you know whether we can or not. But it's nice to have a challenge, right? But in the cloud so far, it's AWS, Azure, and Google. So we've got the physical, we've got the virtual, we've got the cloud, and then I'm hot on the tail of that, hopeful that we're going to have container support released soon as well, which means you'd have some sort of Dropbox image that's an appliance also.
Thanks, Phil. I think it's a good question. I think it's clear to see that these guys are the guys who have created the product, created the hardware, the software. So as Phil used the word challenges, I think that's probably a fair comment. Give it. You're going to get right to the people who've got their hands dirty. So I think that's important. Okay, Katrina.
Yeah, I've got they're coming in fast and furious. Probably a pricing question here. Will customers rent the solution on an annual license fee or pay for it once? So kind of OPEX, CAPEX question there.
Fabulous question. Despite being the techie, not the salesman, I'll have a go at answering it. And then Simon, can you jump in if I get anything wrong or tell me to shut up or whatever? So currently, the reason I'm taking this on, I've been with the company since 2020, and in that time, the majority of sales, in fact, all the sales that I've seen have been what I call CAPEX. So they pay once for the software, whether it's on hardware or whether it's their VMware, whatever it is, they pay once and they own it for life. Now, optionally, and most, if not all, do, they have the option to have it maintained through us. We have a maintenance program which obviously gives you SLAs on any fixes and gives you latest code updates and various other sort of things that you're not going to get if you don't get the maintenance. And the maintenance is an annual thing, but it's not compulsory. So when you buy your product from us, typically it's yours, you pay one price. That's not to say we can't do capex or you can't do opex or utility. By utility, we would come up with a mechanism where we could charge your customers, or you could charge your customers, or however it will work, by gigabyte transferred. So that could be done. Or opex could be a monthly rental. And a lot of bid type scenarios with companies, they quite like the idea of being able to price things flexibly and give perhaps a 60-month or 5-year indicative figure and show the breakdown monthly. So yeah, we can support you with that. It's just that so far, not many people have bothered with anything above capex. We've had the odd one or two, but it's literally mainly been capex or upfront ones. Have I missed anything there, Simon, from your perspective?
What Phil says around flexibility for other pricing methods, we're totally flexible. We've got a price sheet, and we make sure that that's available, but we are interested in fixing customers' problems and helping you find a innovative and flexible way to price it for them. So speak to us. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's another good example that these guys are local, flexible. So yeah. Right. I think as time is running out, let's go to our last one. Trina?
Yeah, last question is a vertical question. You mentioned defence. What other verticals play well with Bridgeworks?
Yeah, so defence is good, obviously, because of the privacy, and another good privacy one would be banking. And we have a banking customer, Investec, who have an Oracle Golden Gate solution that we speed up for them. And they put this in for the purposes of GDPR, which stated that you had to be to prove that you could restore your customers' data back to them after a certain window. I don't know the exact specifics of what they had to meet, but they wouldn't be able to meet it without us. So we do have at least one financial customer using our product. That's just off the top of my head. Motorsports, we have a motorsports vendor who are very keen for us not to know what they're doing with the products, but I can bet that they're after a competitive advantage by getting data transferred at critical moments in time to boost their capability over their competition. And I'll let your imagination decide what that data is. I know what I think it is. So motorsports, banking, as you said, defence, media would probably be a very good one as well, in terms of, once you start getting the camera out and televising something or videoing something, these file sizes ramp up quickly, and that plays well to us. But obviously, anywhere where somebody's trying to back up data, typically if a company's been around 10 years or more, it's going to have a large amount of data, and it's going to want to either offshore it or off-prem the data somehow. And once you sort of head into the sort of 400 miles plus, you're really beginning to start noticing the effects of latency. And when you couple that with packet loss, your transfer times without us can be quite low, and we can be sort of quite easily be 40 or 50 times faster for you. So there's some other verticals for you, but if you've got any others, bring them to us. Healthcare, they seem to generate a lot of data as well, so think about people that are going to be generating a lot of data.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Phil. I think that's about it for now. Again, you probably will all have the details of Nuvola and the team. And like I say, if you just want an exploratory conversation with an end user you think might be interested, might get you some brownie points just to show that you're thinking about them, please let us know, and the team can jump on a call with them and see whether there's an opportunity there. Or you might have a customer who's talking about this and they need a solution. Okay, well, thank you very much. You can see, hopefully this answered all your questions. You will be sent a set of the slides for your consumption. As I say, I think it's one of those opportunities that just scratch away at some of your customers and see whether they would be interested in understanding how they can save money or become more efficient, etc. So thank you very much, Phil and Simon. Thanks for Katrina for organising it. So on that note, I will say farewell to everyone. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks all. Thanks everyone.